And we're back with a special edition of House Call. We're here in the Pontiff Playground. Lots of work going on all around us. But I want to show you something else, something I think is really interesting here. Take a look at this big tree behind me. And if you look, you can see the watermark here. You get a sense of just how high the water got. 5 feet of water. This entire playground was actually covered by water at one point. There was nothing here but muds and sticks. The question was, are these sorts of scars, these sorts of remembrances, what do they do to the psyche of somebody, especially children? Helping us trying to answer that question is Dr. Milton Anderson. You're a psychiatrist, pediatric psychiatrist with Ochsner Medical Clinic. Thanks so much for joining us, first of all.
It's my pleasure.
I'm so curious because we saw this, one of the first things we saw when we came here. Just a reminder like this, what does it do for the mind of a child?
Well, this is primarily a reminder. There's no water here anymore. There's recovery going on. And this is the kind of positive reminder, very different from seeing water that's deep in an image of some other kind.
So the fact that there's no water here anymore, it can actually be a good thing because I see that it happened, but it's come back.
And we need to remember.
We look at these images all the time. We saw them for so long, still see them for Katrina. Now we're seeing them in Iowa after the floods there. What is the right thing for a child? I mean, are the images harmful in some way, or is it good for them to know what's happening?
For young children, certainly preschoolers and primary grades, the best thing to do would be to turn off the television or to have the children not watch those images in some way. They're going to have a great deal of difficulty distinguishing the time that has passed. This may seem like yesterday to them. And also knowing that the distances are far.
Right.
It's a long way to grandma's house, 5 minutes around the corner to them. So an answer from a parent that says, well, that's far, far away from here, could still be quite scary.
Let me ask you something that I always think about as a dad as well. Is it better to talk about these things or not to talk about them? I mean, like, let's say there's been a natural disaster in your area. You have a young child. Talk about it or not?
You generally want to answer the questions that children ask you and trust the fact that what they want to know, they will ask, and stop. If another question comes, then answer that one. But they will stop when they get finished knowing what they want to know. And often that may be before the whole story is done, but they'll stop when they're comfortable.
Katrina brain. It's a term you use. What does that mean, Katrina brain?
Well, a lot of people use that to describe the experience that they had about 6 months after the storm, after a period of chronic stress, after adrenal cortical hormones were elevated for a long time, where they had difficulty with short-term memory, trouble maintaining concentration on what they were doing, and people had lots and lots of things to do, and a draggy kind of fatigue. So putting those things together was a real
It was sort of a overwhelming
inhibition.
psyche for... I'll tell you what, I've been down here about a dozen times, and I can see the progress that's being made, both physically and emotionally. Dr. Milton Anderson, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we are here at the Pontiff Playground, like I mentioned, so much work still going on here. We have some 200 volunteers actually trying to put up this playground, doing the very things that Dr. Anderson was talking about, moving on, both physically and emotionally. You're watching House Call. Stay with us.